welcome to this third and final vlog of Summerween. It's already midday, it's already afternoon, technically, and I just did my final update for vlog 2. I'm gonna link vlogs 1 and 2 down below. If you haven't seen them already, go ahead, check those out. I have done a lot of reading already and a lot of the activities that Gabby from Gabby Reads has given us for this round of the readathon. If you don't know what Summerween is and you're like, what is she talking about, I'm gonna link her announcement video down below. This is, like I said, the third vlog, so go ahead, check out the other ones to figure out what all of this is about. But this is the final one. We have 2 days left, 1.5 basically now. Today is a full day at home. I still have to do some freelance work, but I do have some time to read. And tomorrow I only have a half day at the bookstore, so that should help me with reading a bunch of things. The plans for today are to continue with the book for the prompt to read a book that has 6 words in the title, which is A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping. I did start this already. I am, I think, 12% into this book and I'm really enjoying it. I love the writing style. I loved the companion novel to this one. I gave that one 5 stars, so of course I wanted to have the arc as soon as it went onto NetGalley, and I'm so thankful that I have it. In this we have Sarah Swan, who at 15 resurrected her grand aunt, who had basically raised her and was the only person in her life that she can count on. When her grand aunt Jasmine, when she collapsed and died in the garden, she kind of went ahead and used an illegal spell to resurrect her. What she didn't know was that most of her magic would deplete just from that one spell, and that she would also get cast out of the magical society because of it. Also, in doing that, a tiny bit of her magic went into the soil and resurrected a dead pet that she had buried there, and so now she has a skeleton rooster following her around, and it's now 15 years later and it's still there, as is the person who taught her this spell that was illegal, which is a witch that cursed herself in the past and is now stuck in the body of a fox. So all kinds of crazy things happening in this novel, and I'm only 12% in. We are now, like I said, 15 years later, when she's all grown up. She's still an outcast. She still doesn't really have a way back into society because she doesn't have a way to get the knowledge of helping out her magic, because she does have the hope that her magic will return at some point. And as the title says, all of this is set in a magical inn, and that is important to note because the reason why it's such a big deal that most of her magic is gone is because she was kind of a protege when she was younger. She had this huge amount of magical potential, and so she was supposed to be the next big thing, and with her losing all of her magic, she kind of lost that future as well, and now she is kind of stuck helping out at the inn. And as a child she kind of made a spell that put her on the map, and that spell made it so that no one who didn't need the inn would find it, but everyone who needed it would. And so always people who are very like desperate and thankful to find the inn, they always find the inn. So that is kind of the setup for the story, and now is kind of where we go from there. And I'm very happy with my pick for this prompt because I already love the writing style compared to a book that I started in vlog 1, which was Rewitched, and that I DNF'd. Spoiler if you haven't watched that vlog yet. I have DNF'd this, and it has kind of a similar like premise from the supernatural angle. You kind of have magical societies, and you have a witch whose actions make them maybe become outcasts and kind of be rejected from their societies. But while with this one I never really felt a connection, even 146 pages in, I am already invested in this found family and these characters. I mean, we have a witch who's cursed into a fox's body who's kind of over it by now, and we have a pet rooster who's just running around annoying them all day long forever because the magic isn't waning. So I'm already happy with just how it is, and I do feel like because we have this inn, we're gonna have all these different people coming and going and living there permanently and visiting them. It's all gonna make it for a very colorful cast of characters. At one point it said that these people were not, it has to be said, overburdened with normalness. I love that as a way to say they were weird. They're not overburdened with normalness. I mean, my name is Just Be Weird, so I feel like I should put that in the description bar. Like, I'm not overburdened with normalness myself. So I'm gonna continue with this one today, but there's also a physical book that I could read. Sadly, it doesn't have an audiobook, or else I would try to fit that one in as well. But that is Death on the Caldera by Emily Paxman, and this is for the prompt to read a book that is set in a desert. Now, technically I already finished that prompt with We Won't All Survive, because that is set in a desert and I didn't know when I planned the TBR that that is a thing. So I don't have any pressure to actually do that, but if I want to go one book per prompt, then this is my choice for that one, even though it is stretching it a little bit, because in this one we are in a fantastical world and the setting is a train, which I love, as we know already. And in this one we follow 3 siblings who are returning to the king, who's their father. He's on his deathbed, so they have already a lot of things going on with what's happening with their family life. But then the train stops in the middle of nowhere. There is like an explosion and one of them is supposed to be like the culprit, maybe. And even though they're not stranded technically in a desert, but more like in a volcanic area, I feel like they're both synonyms of each other, because it's like deadly, they can't leave, it's hot, so I feel like it works. I'm gonna stretch it. And this is one of like the books that I wanted to get to for this readathon. If not for the readathon, I might have already read it last month, but I was like, no, this works perfectly. And the reason also why it works for like spooky season is because one of the siblings on the train, like one of the royal children, is a witch, and that is kind of why they assume that she might have been responsible for the explosion. So I'm gonna start this one and hopefully we get a bit of this read. And I'm not even gonna mention, no, I have not read anything. I will finish this whole vlog series and will probably not have finished a single story. That is me with short story collections. I don't typically tend to reach towards them, which is why I put it on my TBR, so I would have a reason to do it. And the thing is, I probably will love some of them. And recently I have found a new love for like novellas, which I usually never liked in the past. So this is like the next thing, because it's even shorter than a novella, and maybe I'll find a new appreciation for them. New goal for this vlog: to read at least one story. I want to read one story so that it makes sense for me to have like mentioned this at all. That's a new goal. The only activity that I still have to do for the bingo board is to listen to a Halloween playlist, and I will do that over the next 2 days. I could do it because I don't have an audiobook for these books, so that would actually work perfectly to have something spooky, eerie in the background, or I'll do it while cleaning, cooking, whatever else I have to do. Hopefully I can vlog and update you guys a bit more than in vlog 2. Also, I have to now start editing that vlog. So at this moment I'm kind of happy that I didn't do too much, but it will probably take me a bit longer than I thought anyway. So enough talking, let's get to editing and let's get to reading. I'm back from my little outing and I started Death on the Caldera and I'm really enjoying it so far. The train has just left the station basically. I'm 50 pages in, so we're only now really starting the train journey. And I just finished The Book Eaters, which was about a society where women were kind of kept small. They were only good to marry well and do whatever the men in their families told them. And now I'm reading that again. It's everywhere. But yeah, in this one we have an empire that has stretched out over the whole continent, and we follow 3 siblings who are the heirs to one of the only countries who's still left out of the empire. And 2 of them were now on their way to their brother, who was a diplomat in the capital of the empire. He's undercover. Nobody knows that he is the crown prince, but now that their father is dying, he has to come back. And so they kind of went there to give him the news and then bring him home. And while we have that happening, we kind of learn that the main character, I forgot her name again, Divina, she is very much annoyed with her life. Her father has kept her small and has declined in letting her go to university and learning and actually being a part of the government. And so she's hoping now that her older brother will be different and will allow her more. And it's interesting because at one point she was like, he doesn't even realize how much power he has over her, that he could change her fortune. Yeah, a lot of little things where it's very obvious that, again, women are kept small in this world. But other than that, I'm interested in kind of seeing how their relationship evolves, because they don't really seem to have much of a relationship, especially Divina and her older brother Kellen, who's the heir, because he was already going to college when she was just a child, and so they never really bonded. And now they're back on the train to go back home, and they're not the only ones on the train. We also had a chapter from the point of view of a 7-year-old whose mother has done some very suspicious things. They kind of made it seem like their home was tossed, and then they kind of fled onto the train. And they were put into first class, and the woman seems to know Kellen, or seems to kind of expect him to be there. And it's interesting because in that chapter, because we have the point of view of a 7-year-old, we as the reader kind of see what the mother is doing, but she isn't, like the girl isn't. So she's so Ray is kind of like seeing certain things happening, and she's just not really questioning them, or she is and she's not putting it all together. But she does seem to know that her mother is up to no good, and that there are lies being told, and that she has to be careful, and that's kind of been their lives all time. It's going to be interesting to see where they come in. They seem to have like witchcraft on their side, and the world building is also interesting because the country that the 3 siblings come from, Helgir, is their country, and they seem to have this religion where the god is the god of the volcano, and so their magic derives from there. And the magic that the people in the empire use is also coming from that volcanic energy, but they don't have any deity that they worship for it. So there's an interesting like parallel. There's also seems to be like a very like olden times feel to the kingdom, while the empire is more of a modern age, which resembles our 1920s. So I like the atmosphere in this. There was one thing that I wanted to mention. Let me quickly find it. So the situation is, we are on the train, and since her brothers are busy with work and she doesn't get to do anything, Divina goes to some soldiers and hopes that they kind of keep her company, and of course one of them oversteps, and then she kind of has to be like, I gotta go, sorry, my brothers are waiting. And he's like, yeah, why don't I escort you to them, or is there nobody like waiting for you? Are you lying? And then it says, Divina felt herself scowl. Who was this man to call out her lie? She'd tell as many as she bloody liked, and he was an idiot if he thought he could make her ashamed of herself for brushing him off. If this was what women's liberation looked like in Bolter, it was deeply disappointing. Why was she being forced to make excuses to a man she'd only met an hour earlier? So I like these kind of moments where we have themes that are very much still in place in our world nowadays. So yeah, sadly, women are still being forced to kind of explain why they brush off someone, and no means no. I mean, come on. So there are like modern themes in this, but there will be more of a fantasy plot going forward, I'm sure. I'm really enjoying it. I liked just sitting at the cafe. I listened to the playlist the SUMMERWEEN playlist, so I can put a check mark next to the activity as well. So we have done all the bingo activities, so I'm happy about that. Now I'm back here. I just went and got some groceries. I'm gonna make dinner soon, but before then I still want to continue with the edits for this second vlog. I finished editing everything from day 4, and now I still have 5 and 6, and I thought I would have less things to put into the vlog. I thought it would be very short, but I'm already at like 10-15 minutes, so didn't realize that. So I should need a couple more hours to finish that. Hopefully it's easily done and there are no more mishaps during any of the editing. After that I will continue with the book. I have not continued with my ebook that I'm reading right now. I just didn't have the time, and I really wanted to read a physical copy while I was out and about. Hi guys, welcome to day 8 day 8 of SUMMERWEEN. I'm just gonna quickly update you because I have to go to work a bit earlier today because I'm working alone, so I don't have too much time to update you. The reading prompt for today is to read a book outside. Now, the plan was to go ahead and read this somewhere in nature, somewhere where I can just relax and enjoy the weather. But it's supposed to rain today. It's supposed to be stormy, and there's also supposed to be a thunderstorm later today, so maybe that won't happen. It is just cloudy now, and I have to work until 1 p.m. so maybe after work there might be a change in weather, so here's hoping. But I did start this one actually yesterday when I went to the cafe, like on the way there and back. I started listening to it, so I'm already 58 pages into this one, and I'll talk a bit more about this later. Seeing as I've now started 3 books, I don't think today will be the day that I finish all of them, so I will expand the readathon into tomorrow if need be, and I'm fine with that. I just feel like the completionist in me wants to finish off all these books so that I can give you a review for them, especially for the arc that I still have. It was a very short night because at 4 the cat woke me up, just a fur ball thing, but it was like at 4 o'clock and I was like, oh, okay, I'll get up, she's fine. At 6 I had to go out with the dog, so it's all good, it's all good. Let's just get through this day. Hi everyone. I'm back home, as you can see, and I've kind of made a little fort. Since the weather isn't playing ball, I thought I would just go with it and make everything cozy and have all the pillows and all the blankets that I could want, and have a place for the pets to also be on. This is an old mattress, so I'm fine with having both of them on here with me, or I don't know, on their own. But the plan for the rest of the day is just to lie here, probably put on sprints at some point, and read some more of this, and of this. I might keep this for a bit later. Maybe the sun will come out a little bit more, or I will listen to the audiobook while I'm going on a walk so that I can kind of put a check mark on read a book outside. I mean, the door is open, so is it outside? Who knows? Who knows? But so far I'm just happy to be home, happy to be done with work for today. And I still got some of my coffee. It's now cold, but I drank it anyway. And I got some yummy food. I have some ice cream in the fridge, and I'm just hoping that my energy level will stay the same so that I don't fall asleep. I mean, I'm dumb because sure, like, sit on a mattress if you don't want to sleep. But I'm trying to be smart about it. Anyway, we'll see if that works actually. guys, I thought I would give you a little bit of an update and a wrap up because it's the end of the day and I think I'm gonna call it. Maybe a week is a bit too much to vlog and just be present like 24/7 because I felt like today was more of lying on my fort kind of thing and just enjoying the quiet and the rain and everything, and I haven't really been in too much of a reading mood. I have been watching a lot of TV, I have to admit, but that was fine as well. I did not make any progress. I'm so sorry, I always pronounce it caldera and that is, I think, wrong. I heard someone say caldera, so I think that's gonna be how I pronounce it from now on. Sorry about that. So I have not made any progress with that. I read 44 pages. I am interested. I just prioritized something else today. And then I did say that I started Haunted Ever After by Jen DeLuca already. I did not continue with this one. I am 59 pages into this one. I'm not sure, looking back, if I ever told you what this was about. So this is about a young woman who has just bought a house and she moved. It was very spontaneous that she decided to move to this little town, and now she's kind of regretting it because it's in the middle of nowhere and the town is known for being the most haunted town in Florida, and everything and everyone is going with that theme, and she's kind of over it. Especially since the house that she bought is supposed to be haunted as well, and she kind of sees things are happening that are kind of weird, but of course she doesn't really believe. So this is her story, just finding her place in this little town and finding new friends and maybe even love. She has met the proprietor of the local coffee shop and we have his point of view as well, and it's gonna be their romance in this one. I have read from Jen DeLuca before. I really loved Well Met, and so this just felt like coming home. Her writing style is just for me. It is very beautiful, it's very easy, it is funny. I do like having both perspectives, but I do feel like he fell for her like right away. He's very much interested right away from the get-go, and that was kind of too quick for me. It was we're already having him kind of be into her a bit too much. But I don't mind. It is about their romance, so I will come back to this one. I think it's funny that there are actual ghosts in this, so maybe this is for someone who also likes Ashley Poston, because there's always like a little fantasy aspect in those books as well. So if you like those, check this one out, because there are actual ghosts in this town, especially since I think that the former owner of the coffee shop is texting him as a ghost. It hasn't been said so explicitly, but I think like from the synopsis and from the vibe that we get, he's supposed to be dead. I don't think I am spoiling anything by doing that. I think it is a very cute like twist on the whole haunted town kind of thing. So I am continuing with this one. This actually has like the perfect SUMMERWEEN vibes. Like I should have gotten to this sooner maybe. Maybe instead of a book that I had to give like 2 stars. But yeah, it has like the perfect ambiance because it is in Florida. It does have that warm sunny vibe, but like with like Halloween vibes because everyone is kind of going with the ghost theme. So perfect. And so this was for the prompt to read a book outside, which I did kind of because I listened to the beginning of this while I was outside driving to the cafe. But I did not do it actually on the day that I said I would read this outside because of the weather. Does it still count? I'm gonna say it counts. But speaking of haunted places, I also continued with the book for the prompt to read a book that has 6 words in the title, and I continued with A Witch's Guide to Magical Innkeeping. That author loves her weird long titles. Anyway, I'm in love with that one. That is the one that I prioritized today, and I am 53% into this one, and I'm having so much fun with this one. If you liked The Secret Society of Irregular Witches, is that the other one? If you like that one, it has the same vibes. It has found family, it has a cute romance, it has beautiful like whimsical magic. I'm in love. So this is very much more a cozy fantasy with a romance plot compared to, for example, this one where it's a romance with maybe fantastical elements. So depending on what you want from a book, just know that going in, because we do very much focus on our main character, Sarah, who has lost her most of her magical abilities because of what she did with resurrecting her aunt, and she is of course trying to figure out a way to get her magic back. I did think that getting to the spell would be like most of the story, but it isn't actually, because she very quickly finds someone to translate it, and he's very much like, okay, let me just quickly write it down, I don't want to have anything else to do with you, here you go. But then of course he gets roped into staying at the inn, and he's not the only one, which I didn't know from the synopsis, that there are again children in this one. In the Irregular Witches one we had the 3 sisters. In this one we have, for one, the nephew of Sarah who is staying with her, and we also have the sister of the main male character who he's looking after because she's autistic, and her parents don't really know what to do with her because she can't control when she shows her magic or not. She doesn't really understand the concept of having to hide it from regular people, and so he kind of took it upon himself to look after her because he knows their parents are shit, basically. A lot of shitty parents in this one, so if that triggers you, I don't know, because it's not only, what is his name again? His name is, why don't I remember this? Luke. Wow, that took a while. So it's not only Luke and his sister's parents that are kind of ugh, but also Sarah's parents as well. They were very like neglectful, and they just pawned her off to her aunt and leaving her behind. And then there are the parents of her nephew who also are kind of deadbeat. So a lot of parents that don't really do what you would hope parents would do in this situation, but there are a lot of aunts and brothers who are amazing. So in that aspect you have the kind of found family that they focus on, especially since we are in this inn with a lot of permanent guests. You don't really see too many like outside people come and go. They are mentioned, but they're not the focus. The focus is definitely on the people who are there long term, and I just love these people. They're all like they're so quirky, so weird. There's like a guy who's working for a Ren fair, so he's always wearing his armor and he's like being a knight for Sarah. It's all just fun. And so I can't wait to go back into this one and finish this one. It is coming out next week, so go check it out if you're interested. So far I don't see a connection to the companion novel, so you can go in and read either without having read the other one. That is kind of what I prioritized reading today, just because it's an arc, just because it is released soon, and I kind of wanted to give you an update because I haven't really in the past. I kind of just said that I started it. I didn't really give you any content or like things about the plot or what I enjoyed and what I did not. I actually enjoyed everything so far. So far it's looking like a 5-star read. Death on the Caldera I will continue as well. This is more high fantasy, while these two are set in our world. This one is definitely in a fantastical world. This one still intrigues me just because of the mystery plot and just the family dynamics in this one, and also I didn't realize that there would be this view of what women are allowed to do in this world and what like power the male relatives still have over them. I always love that. I always love that. Apparently I do seek out books that have that theme. But yeah, I do want to continue. This was a highly anticipated read, and maybe I just waited a bit too long with all 3 of these books to read it during Summerween, because just the energy was waning at the end of the week. But I did want to finish off this vlog because I didn't want to just continue reading, and I wouldn't have known when this one would go up then, because I do have a very intense work week next week. Let's quickly go through the books that I did read. Oh, I did forget that I also read 2 picture books that I saw on NetGalley and thought that they were perfect for Summerween. So first I read Spoops, The Little Spirits of Halloween. Sadly, I only gave it 2.5 stars. I had high hopes because of the cover. It looked so cute and so like adorable, and some of the pictures were, but a lot of them were kind of the plot wasn't really what I wanted. It centered more around the family of this girl whose parents are dentists, and they of course hate Halloween, and so they kind of forbid her to do it. And when they are like on a conference, she makes like a wish on a pumpkin, and then these spooks come and kind of give her the Halloween that she always wanted. And it is more centered around her family and the dentists. And also the writing was in like was poetry. The writing just did not get me. I just did not like the story as it was written. Idea was good, the execution not so much, so I wasn't really happy with that one. And then I read the picture book The Pesky Problem, which I just saw the cover and I was like, oh, that's so cute, let's read that one. And I ended up giving it 3.5 stars. This is about a pumpkin patch that has a crow problem, as in the crows want to eat them, and they see that the cornfield doesn't have that problem because they have a scarecrow, and so they kind of band together in order to get the scarecrow or find another way to get rid of the crows. It was fun. It was a cute, very short story. It's a picture book, but I did end up giving it 3.5 stars. So yeah, that also happened during the last 2 days. But let's go and wrap up this whole readathon. I do think that I had an amazing reading time during this month. Overall, I did have a very rocky start with A Vengeance. Not gonna lie, I was kind of bummed about that one. Glad that I am now reading a book with a train that is actually grabbing my attention and is so much fun, because that one was a dud. So I gave that one 2 stars. I couldn't really recommend it. And it's funny because I do think that will be the book that was read most during Summerween. I saw it everywhere. Everyone was reading it. So far, I haven't really seen anyone who was having a lot of fun with this one. Not gonna lie. But check out other reviews if you're still interested. After that, I read We Won't All Survive, and I loved this one. I gave it 4.5 stars. This is a very much a new recommendation for a YA thriller, especially the setting, the game aspect. I loved how realistic it all seemed in the way that the characters were interacting with the game aspect even after the first body dropped, and I just thought the reveal was very well done. So I had a lot of fun with this one. After that, I sadly DNF'd Rewitched by Lucy Jane Wood. Now that I had a couple of days to think about it, I will DNF it for sure now. It was a soft DNF before, but just reading Haunted Ever After and also the Magical Innkeeping one, I do think that I just enjoy those so much more, and I was just drawn in by the writing and the way that everything was portrayed. I mean, with this one, I'm 146 pages in, and I couldn't really tell you too much about this because I feel like no connection to this one. None at all. So this will get DNF'd. I do hope that I have more chemistry, more feeling towards the new release of this author, because I do have an arc and I do intend to read it just to see if I vibe more with it. After that, I read my 100th book of the year, and that is The Book Eaters by Sanya Dean, and I again loved this one. This one was a real big surprise for me because I just thought it would be run-of-the-mill. I thought I was just reading this to kind of put a check mark next to one of the challenges and also to finally get this off my TBR, but it's a new favorite. I really enjoyed this one. I am planning on going back into this one and maybe annotate it, because I do think there were so many interesting thoughts and feelings towards certain themes in this one, and the writing itself was very beautiful as well. So I do think going into this with no expectations gave me the perfect outcome in the end, and I gave it 4.5 stars. And another 4.5 stars was the manga that I read for this readathon, and that was the second volume of The Promised Neverland. I loved this continuation, I loved the characters, and there was another big reveal that I didn't see coming, so happy to continue with this one. And like I said, 3 books that I started and will continue, and all of them so far are really like speaking to me. That's kind of why I had a hard time choosing what I wanted to read today. All of them are right now on a very high star prediction. Now you're all gonna ask yourself, did I do it? Did I read at least one of these short stories like I wanted to? That was my new challenge, because in the beginning I said I would read 2 a day. In the end, I was like, let's just read 1 of these short stories, and nope, I did not. I did not open this one again after that first time, even though I still want to. But at least I've showed this enough times that hopefully one of you guys will be inspired to pick it up, because I do think this deserves all the love. It does feel like something that I would enjoy, but I can't I don't know, short stories just aren't for me, but I will keep it, and hopefully now that I've marked up all the stories, I will just at one point pick it up and read it. So looking at the prompts for this readathon, I do think that I managed to do all of them. I read a book in the dark, I did read a thriller, I did read a book that had a sky on the cover, more than one, even though I DNF'd the one that I picked for it. I have read others that also have a sky and I finished those. I did read a manga and I did read a book that I had owned for more than a year. For the extra prompts in the bingo, I did read a book that is set in the desert. I had wanted to read this for it and I did start it for this prompt on that day, but I also finished We Won't All Survive, which is also set in the desert. And then we had to read a book that has 6 words in a title, which I did get more than 50% into that book. And then we had to read a book outside, which I did read different books outside overall, so I do feel like I can put a check mark next to it. And then we had 3 prompts for activities that we could do, and I did watch a scary movie or a scary TV series. I did listen to a spooky playlist, and I did bake something fall inspired, which was very yummy. So all in all, I can put a big check mark on all of the challenges. I want to say thank you to Gabby for hosting this. It is always so much fun. I do have a lot of plans for the rest of the month, so keep an eye out for my next vlogs and my next videos. If you like this video, don't forget to like it and subscribe. I'm gonna link vlogs 1 and 2 down below if you haven't seen those already. Go check them out, I would love that. And leave me a comment if you have participated in Summerween, and if so, what was your favorite book of the week. And until the next time, I hope you have all the great reads. Bye!